Sound like you would take him top 5 over some of those quarterbacks.
Do you feel like you let the defense down at all?
No.
I am not ruling the Buffalo Bills out, but the Miami Dolphins are the best team in this division. And
I'm singing you this Christmas wish from Hawaii. Sands of Waikiki shine bright as snow. Send yous love aloha to brighten up your day. Mele kaliki maka eine. I'm singing you this Christmas wish from Hawaii. Lulu lights are all aglow. Sending you the flare of aloha to brighten up your day. Mele kaliki maka eine. May your days be as bright as the sun at Haleakala, and your nights by the moon at Hanalei. May the spirit of Christmas behind your hearts like Mauna Kea. Mele kaliki maka eine. So I'm singing you this Christmas wish from Hawaii. Wishing you were here or I with you. Sending you the flare of aloha to brighten up your day. Mele kaliki maka eine. May your days be as bright as the sun at Haleakala, and your nights by the moon at Hanalei. May the spirit of Christmas behind your hearts like Mauna Kea. Mele kaliki maka eine. So I'm singing you this Christmas wish from Hawaii. Wishing you were here or I with you. Sending you the flare of aloha to brighten up your day. Mele kaliki maka eine. Sending you the flare of aloha to brighten up your day. Mele kaliki maka eine. Mele kaliki maka eine.
Hey everybody, just I'm checking the microphone, making sure everything's on. I think we're good. I want to say to you guys tonight, on Tua Tuesday, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Mele Kalikimaka, Happy Festivus, Happy Kwanzaa. I want to cover it all. I want everyone to have a joyous week. This is the week we all celebrate the birth, the Uno birth. And I want everyone to have peace and health and love this week. Sound corny? Hey, that's how I feel. That's how my wife and I celebrate Christmas. I thank all of you guys for being here tonight. I'm going to get to a lot of your comments. But as we group here in this little ohana, which is a Hawaiian word for family and extended family, I wanted to share something with you. I won't read this guy's name out of privacy concerns, but I don't think enough people who do this, who talk on YouTube, understand that besides the trolls and the idiots out there, you actually reach real people. And I get emails and I get comments, but once in a while, I get a comment from somebody that I'm like, whew, man, this is real. I'm talking to real people out there, people with real lives. So I'm going to read this and I'll skip some, but I just wanted to share it with you, especially during this Christmas season. Just give some thought to this. He starts off with, "Hey Barry, I love your Dolphins channel. I watch all your videos. Thank you very much. You have a very wise way of exposing the way some people who call themselves fans who are not very fan-like. On a sad note, my wife's father, I had to skip her name, my wife's father died today. So it's going to be a very sad Christmas for me. He's gone home to be with the Lord. His name is, and he's survived by his wife, who's also 84, his grandchildren and kids and things of that nature. He was a great man who loved the Lord. He had been in the hospital for a few weeks, and ironically, he was supposed to come home today. But the hospital called about 1 p.m. and said he had a heart attack and passed. Please keep our family in your prayers. And through all of that, through going everything he went through, he goes, and by the way, lastly, I saw this article on Yahoo, and the writer is a real Yahoo herself for sure, and I thought you might enjoy it and possibly be able to share it on Tua Tuesday. Seems like our young franchise quarterback is a real fan favorite. So with all the grief that he's been going through, and he says, Tua Tagovailoa has become very popular. God bless you and your show, Barry. This former Master Sergeant in U.S. Air Force retired is wishing you and your family a very Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year's. Go Dolphins. I'm praying we win out and that the Bills lose out. That would be worth something to smile about. And he signs his name. And I shared it with my wife and a couple of friends, and I went, no matter how bad your day is going, no matter how alone you may feel this week of all weeks, and then next week, of course, with New Year's, you're not alone. And man, just hearing his pain just got to me. So, dude, you know who you are. Thank you very much. So let's talk about the article that he was referring to. He was referring to this article that was in Yahoo, and it's by a guy named Frank Schwab. Let me see if I can pull it up here so you can see it. And it's one of those articles we've seen this week. We all know that Tua basically broke the bank in the Pro Bowl in that sham or whatever it's called. It says, in a surprise, Miami's Tua Tagovailoa gets more Pro Bowl votes than any other player. They hate this. They hate the fact that Tua Tagovailoa is the #1 vote getter for the Pro Bowl. And then, as in typical Tua hating style, it's not like the Pro Bowl vote matters much. It's not even the Pro Bowl anymore. It's the Pro Bowl games, because the football game itself has been replaced and fan votes aren't a measure of anything. I just want to blow that up. I'm not sure if you guys can see it, because even in accolades, okay, let me I just blew it up so you guys can see this. It's not like the Pro Bowl vote matters much at all. It's not even the Pro Bowl anymore. It's the Pro Bowl games, because the football game itself has been replaced, and fan votes aren't the best measure of anything. They can't even accept that about Tua. But Tua Tagovailoa getting more votes than anyone else, that's unexpected. The NFL announced that Tua got 306,000 plus votes from fans, which was the most of any player and easily the most among quarterbacks. To make it even more impressive, Tyreek Hill was second with 293,000 votes for the Pro Bowl, and then Patrick Mahomes was at 271,000. I bring this up because we're never going to change these people. I guarantee you that if Tua won the Super Bowl, it wouldn't change. They just despise the kid for whatever reason it is, and I don't care. And this week, they're not going to take away that joy. There were some things I'm going to show you moving forward that, it's funny how even in a loss, people who've got some sort of credibility and some sort of integrity had to sit back and go, wow, these guys can friggin' play. These guys have it. Tua, I was wrong. Wait till you see some of the things I'm going to show you tonight, and that way you can maybe share it to your friends and let them, those who aren't Tua haters. But let me just greet a couple of you guys right now and take a couple comments, because that just kind of blew me away, both what I shared with you and everything else. Hey, Pablo, Pablo says, if I was Tua, I would use their vitriol as a motivational tool. He doesn't see it. Supposedly he doesn't check social media, but I'm sure people tell him. Vipey, I'm gonna fool you today. I am going to fool you. So they would never admit they were wrong. There's a couple very, very prominent sports people out there who have now fell on the sword and said, yeah, I was wrong. I mean, we took Buffalo to the very end in a snowstorm, in a snowball throwing hostile environment, and they kicked the field goal with time running out despite the penalties, despite all the stuff that happened. They took Buffalo to the wire. And if you want to look at both games, and I don't think many people have talked about this, I think it's important that we address this. Both games this year basically came down to the final play. Do you realize that? When they were down here in South Florida and they were scrambling and Josh Allen was trying to get them to the line and he missed that one touchdown and then he tried to stop the clock and clock it and then the clock ticked off 3-2-1, it was over. It went all the way to the last second. Not sure how many people remember that or how many people even want to remember that. Turn it around, we go to Buffalo, it goes all the way to the last second. So if we've taken Buffalo and split the season, and both games went down to the last possible second of the game, and if they're saying Buffalo is a top tier team, then you got to think basically, it's like Joe and Ali. They pounded each other, 1-1, one lost. Came back again, one loss. I think we're going to see the Thriller in Manila. I think we're going to see this again. I think these two teams are so evenly matched that we're going to see the Thriller in Manila. Now, I'm not sure how old some of you guys are. I know I get called an old head by some of the younger YouTubers out there, and they don't like my attitude and how I talk because I guess I try to talk with information instead of emotion. But the Thriller in Manila, Joe Frazier, Muhammad Ali beat the hell out of each other for 2 straight fights. Then they went and had the Thriller in Manila and had a third fight. I think we're about to see the Thriller in Manila. If you're not old enough to understand what that means, go back and see how those two guys, those two heavyweights, Joe Frazier and Muhammad Ali, slugged it out, beat the hell out of each other for 3 fights. It was an amazing spectacle in sports that I believe has been forgotten. And so right now we've just seen that with the Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins. They both had stood toe-to-toe with each other and slugged it out for now, 120 minutes. And they've decided these games like that. It's not by accident. It's not a fluke. These two teams are neck and neck, and I guarantee you every person on both teams realizes, hey, we're right there. If these guys are the best in the AFC, I mean, that's debatable with Kansas City, but if this is the top tier, then we're right there. You can't deny it. There's no hater. There's no Buffalo Bills. We're right there. You can't, I don't understand how anybody could look at that and go, oh man, we got them. On either side. We can't say it about Buffalo, and they damn sure can't say it about us. And that's something that I think a lot of people haven't talked about. The fact that these two teams are so heavily, evenly matched. Mr. Baldylocks has something to say here. What's up, Baldy? He says, I agree, we need to run more, especially when it's working, and Josh needs to call better defense, man instead of zone versus Allen. Yeah, I agree with you. But given what I just said to you, you know if they have the Thriller in Manila, it'll be in Buffalo, so it'll be the Thriller in Buffalo. Those two coaches are going to have to match wits because we saw what happened in Miami, we saw what happened in Buffalo, and things didn't blow out for either side. Yeah, Viper, you are correct. Josh Allen did take it over. That's just what he does. Tony, you're right. I pity the fools in Buffalo. It's amazing how ignorant a lot of people are. Take the L. You lost. I'm like, dude, you understand there's some time left in this season, and that I wouldn't brag about something where two teams went toe to toe and each one of them barely won. I am always sad when the Dolphins lose. I get angry, but I love Tua he always plays hard. Tua changed some minds this past weekend. Tua Tagovailoa, everybody thought was going to go up and basically, I don't know, put on a parka and live in an igloo. There's no way he's going to be able to play in the cold weather. He's not going to be able to throw in the wind. He's noodle-armed. He's not going to be able to play in the cold. Yes, he lost. I am not debating that whatsoever. Tua Tagovailoa and the Miami Dolphins lost, but they played their asses off. Chuck, you're right. We're coming. Absolutely. Green Bay, you got to know what's happening. You got to know what's coming up. I'll talk about that in a second, too. Where'd you go, Pablo? I just thought I saw something. Pablo, I guess he's talking to somebody in the chat. Haters will always hate. Just morons. Absolutely. What's it say, Pablo? Team, the fact is that our defense is not up to playoff caliber play. That's true. I think that you're not going to be able to see a team play on defense the way they did and hope the offense scores 30 points every time to win, because you're going to give up more points. Absolutely. Byron Jones, I don't even know what to say about him at this point. The boys are going to be after it this week. They are hungry. I got to believe that. I think this is a time where they can take somebody, an MVP caliber quarterback like Aaron Rodgers, and take him down. Gerald Franklin, how you doing, buddy? I like what Tua said in the after-game press conference about the weather. Basically, he said, we proved we can play in the weather. Enough of that, move on. Bingo. They proved it, if they even had to, but they now have proved that, and it's time to move on. So, where's Bradley Chubb? Dude, I'm going to get the tape of that Bradley Chubb, a couple of plays he had. The dude didn't play bad. I mean, he's doing what he has to do. He's playing against the top offensive lineman of every team. And on Saturday, he was chasing Josh Allen all over the field. So I want to play something for you, make sure I'm on point here. Don't want to mess up my sound. This is Mike Florio. Mike Florio from Pro Football Talk, who, is with Miss Sims. And listen how he realizes something is different with this Miami Dolphins team.
And the Dolphins should feel, even though they've lost 3 games in a row, good about where they are. They're proving they can play with anyone. They're proving they're going to be a tough out. They're proving that they could get hot. They just need a few tweaks here or there. Mike McDaniel, it's going to be a challenge for him to say the right things, to hold it together. They've lost 3 in a row. But as 3-game losing streaks go, I feel like they are in a good spot for the final 3 games of the season. Do you agree?
Yes, I do. Look, there are no moral victories, but after the way that they played out here in Los Angeles last Sunday night, I think they needed to at least have a better performance. Tua Tagovailoa was much better in this game. I mean, there was that throw that he had down the right sideline, for a touchdown. That's his best throw that he's had in the last few weeks after going, to the Bay Area and losing to San Francisco and then losing to the Chargers. He was playing more like the quarterback that we've seen throughout the course of this season.
Yes, he was. And now he's getting ready to come home. And I'm not a big stat person, but I saw this stat today, and I thought this was really impressive. I'm going to share this with you guys right now. All right, Tua at home. He's 5-0 at home. He's got a 68% completion average, 260 per game, 8.4 yards per attempt, 7 TDs, 0 interceptions, and a 108.7 passer rating. Tua is coming home to ball against the Green Bay Packers. People want to deny that. Everything, and just so you guys know who aren't down here, I've got a sweater on because it's chilly in South Florida. I'm the one who probably could survive in Buffalo because as we speak right now, the temperature here in balmy South Florida, Boca, is let's see. What's it get down to? It's 72 degrees. I don't know if you guys can see that. 72 degrees. That's kind of chilly for us. But what's more important that it's supposed to drop down into the 50s like 59, 60 degrees this weekend. For those of you not adjusted to South Florida weather, 59 degrees means we put on sweaters, we put on hoodies, the girls put on boots, the wives wear all their heavy winter clothing because at 58, it's kind of cold, but there's going to be no heat advantage this weekend. It's not like it's going to be 100 degrees in the sun down at the Hard Rock Stadium, so we're going to have equal footing. It's going to be good weather unless it rains or something, but this is no excuse. At this point, I believe, and I did it in one of my videos yesterday, that the Miami Dolphins have to do like that Cleveland Indians team in Major League, where they were getting ready to get disbanded, and one of the guys in the locker room says, you know what we got to do? I mean, people are like, what? We got to win them all. At this point, I am counting, not guaranteeing and not predicting, I am counting on the Miami Dolphins to win out. They got to beat the Packers, they got to beat the Patriots, and they got to beat the Jets. Got to do it. I need all three of those games to go in the W column. That's the kind of team I want to see getting ready for the playoffs. That's the kind of team that I think will make some people stand up and take notice and worry about the Dolphins as a potential player in the playoffs. I don't want to be 1-2 and trying to back in and get almost in, because to me, getting in the playoffs isn't the trophy. I see so many people on Twitter and other places, oh, we got to get to playoffs. We haven't been to the playoffs in 20 years. I don't want to just get to the playoffs. I want to see this team cause problems in the playoffs. I want to know that this team on a given Sunday has a shot to move deeper into the playoffs. Once we get into the playoffs, now Mike McDaniel has got to get these guys ready. He has to get them ready at this point and get them going into the playoffs. You have no excuse. You got 3 games. You got 3 games. And I don't know if you're trying to be cute and set something up for these 3 games by having take the ball out of Raheem Mostert's hands, which was insane. I don't know if the guys had cold hands and they dropped a few of those balls. That's insane. Stop beating yourself. And that beating yourself, in my mind, goes in the same column as Mike McDaniel calling the wrong plays. He's beating himself. You're 2nd and 1 from the goal line, and you get cute and call 2 passes, and we don't get a touchdown. To me, that's insane. So I'm looking forward to the boys being home this weekend. Let's see. You're right, Dennis. Catch the damn ball. I got game says, and I do believe this, if we don't get in, we don't deserve it. Yep. It's as simple as that. Me, personally, I feel you don't win all 3 games, you don't really deserve it. You can't count on the New England Patriots throwing a 30-yard lateral backwards for some reason so that you can get into the playoffs. You can't count on Mike White or Zach Wilson not playing for the Jets. You can't count on the fact that Aaron Rodgers doesn't have a big-time wide receiver. Actually, he does. That kid's playing well, Christian Watson. But you can't count on that. You just can't count on that. You've got to win these games. Good teams, championship teams, win the games they're supposed to win. I forget what the Packers' record is. I think they're either 5-8 or 6-9 or whatever, 6-8. The Jets, they're not going to do anything. The Patriots we saw yesterday or the day before, they're not going to do anything. Dolphins have to win all 3 of these games. They've got to be at top level. I'll be the first to call it each Monday over the next 3 weeks and say that this team has the caliber and positioning to win these 3 games. They have to. This isn't where we want to be watching on Sunday going heads down, wondering what's happening and are we going to be able to eke it out and maybe we can come back. No, I need to see, and I'm a nobody, but I personally, to believe that this team can make a difference in the playoffs, I need to see decisive wins on all 3 games and taking these teams out. What in the world happened in that Chargers game? If we play half as good as we did against Buffalo, we can crush them. Don't know. Don't know. That was an anomaly. Let's just go ahead and not even look at that film. They screwed the pooch on it, but that was pretty bad. What's going on? Good evening, Barry. Listening to you from Southwest Michigan. Now there's cold. I've never been to Southwest Michigan, but I can look on a map and go, it's cold where this guy is. So Adam, I hope you're all bundled up there and you've got some heat. Here in Tennessee, all right, here in Tennessee, Thursday night going to be 1 degrees. Oh, my best friend. One year we were going up to New York City, and we drove, and obviously the car has the degrees on it in the direction, going west, 60 degrees, 70 degrees, and he took a nap while I was driving, and he woke up, and he had never been to New York, and he said, "What's wrong with the thermometer?" And I'm like, "What?" He goes, "It says 2 degrees." I'm like, no, that's really what it is. It's 2 degrees, and we still hadn't got to New York City yet. So, yeah. Terry says, let's just win one at a time, starting with Green Bay. Exactly. Don't look beyond it. Win this game. Win it decisively. Don't do everything you can to play a top-notch. You understand that so far, I'm going to say this, I'm just thinking to make sure. I haven't seen or can't remember, you guys can tell me, I don't remember a 4-quarter win. And what I mean by that is the Dolphins won in all phases of the game for all 4 quarters. Even when we had the luxury of the Texans game, we all sat here and went, oh my God, they're coming back, something's not working. We haven't had that game yet where we just sit back and go, yeah, this is the Dolphins team that we wanted to see. Blow somebody out. You got a chance right now to go for someone's jugular. Take it. Absolutely take it. Here, what's it say? William Youngblood. I'm trying to think. Here in West Kentucky, going to be -2 on Friday. Oh my God, man, guys, make sure you're bundled up. Oh, here, I gotta take this one because this is the wife. It's so cold, I'm sitting outside having a glass of wine and waiting for you to finish because it's scary cold. She's outside drinking it. You know what? I think I'm going to give her a $100 gift card because, I've been giving those out, and maybe I should give her one because she'll buy me something for Christmas. She'll love that. Down here, we've got McDaniels. Okay, this is small. McDaniels said the Dolphins had to take what the defense was giving them, which is why they didn't run more. Take what the defense was giving them? They were giving them the run. The guy was crushing it. He has said that, and I don't understand what he meant. Take what the defense is giving you. Well, they're giving you running yards. And Raheem Mostert was taking those yards, and the offensive line was beating up on these people. Finn Precision says, just get in the playoffs, and we might have a Miami Miracle playoff run. I hope so. So let me take you to another. Actually, we're going to look at some tweets because I wanted to show you a couple things that some people said, and then we'll come back and take some more comments. Let me see this one. All right, so we know about the Pro Bowl votes. I'm not going to talk about that anymore. I like this one. Okay, it says the Tua can't play thing is turning into a psychological tick at this point. People are so emotionally entrenched that they can't view the truth objectively. That, to me, is so true. It's the same, and I'm not going to go there because it would piss some people off, but it's the same with some stuff that happened in this country for a year or so where people are so entrenched. They are so bought in. They've taken hold of the narrative. And whatever it be, in our regard here, talking about the Dolphins, hey, Tua is noodle arm. He can't play. He's fragile. He's small. What are the other ones they keep saying about him? And then we see he actually can play. But, he didn't do what Josh Allen did. But he brought the team to within 3 points and down to the last second. Yeah, but Josh Allen took the team up on his back. Tua can't do that. Yeah, but the Dolphins are 8-6 and they're poised for a playoff run while there's a bunch of people sitting back at home watching TV who aren't going to be playing this week. Playing in the playoffs, whatever it takes. Yeah, but Tua can't do it. There's nothing. This tweet is absolutely right. There is nothing we are going to do about some people, including Dolphins fans, including some Dolphins fans, who are so entrenched in their feeling, who are so dug in at this point that there's literally no way out for them. There's no way for these people to come back, so just ignore them. And when they show up in my timelines here and they start commenting, until they get really nasty, I wouldn't go ahead and delete them, but I had to. Some of these guys are just insane. What kind of psychological problem do you have that you're going to take your time on a Tuesday night or any other night and watch a video about a team you hate and about a player you hate and then engage with complete hatred and negativity? What are you shooting up that you find that to be enjoyable? So this tweet is absolutely right. These people are so emotionally entrenched that they cannot view the truth objectively. They're gonzo. Absolutely gonzo. Great tweet. I wanted to share that with you. So I made a video yesterday. Actually, I posted it today. That if you guys want to check it out, it's on the channel. It's titled, "Is the NFL Rigged?" And this was part and parcel of what we're talking about, these people who are wrecked upstairs. I posted this, and I got so much DMs and crap, and I said, it's not complaining when it's this obvious. The ref was standing right there. He saw the entire play and intentionally ignored the pass interference. He's standing right there. I mean, the ref is right there. He saw this guy mug Tyreek, didn't even pay any attention, didn't even care. And Tyreek's like, you got to be kidding me. This guy's been riding my back, not just on this play, but on plays throughout the game. And he's just got his hands. There's one play where he was reaching for a pass interference on the Miami Dolphins before the play was even over. You could see him reaching. Same thing with one of the other games. I think it was the Commanders versus the Giants. The ref was waiting to pull the flag before the play had even commenced. So a lot of people started thinking, hey, is this stuff rigged? And so I decided, because I got so many emails and so many DMs, I made a video about, is the NFL rigged? So go check that out if you get a chance there. It's pretty funny. So there's a guy in here now who's making stupid comments. Like, I don't get it. They are emotionally nuts. As a Desert Storm veteran, we are overwhelmed the Iraqi forces. That's what we have to do now from each game out. I love that analogy, Gerald. I love that analogy. At this point, go in ready to, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but annihilate and destroy the opponent. Force your will upon them. Get them to a point where they don't even want to be on a field with you. If the Dolphins played on a 40-yard field too, it could go deep. Yeah, dude, you got a shot of me putting your stuff on. Hey, brother, Shaka, gotta run, but gonna listen to the conclusion later this evening. God bless and mahalo for your channel. Troy from Hilo, Hawaii. Thank you, brother. Thank you for being a continuous watcher, and thank you for your chats and donations, and as you've seen, it's helped me do so much for some people who really needed, who need the help this time of year, or just don't need the help but are getting gift cards and t-shirts and hats and tickets that they ordinarily couldn't afford, and you're one of those guys who has helped out tremendously. Let's see. I don't think the NFL is rigged, but it does look like it sometimes because the officiating is so bad. So if you watch my video, it's one of the things I said, I don't think it's rigged. I really don't. They may have done some things with the rules to make it to where it's impossible for the game of football to actually be played, but I don't think they rig it on a week-to-week basis. You're talking about a company, and I discussed this in the video. You're talking about a company, or organization rather, that has a $100 billion media contract. Amazon, ESPN, CBS, Fox, the whole 9 yards. $100 billion baked in before a single snap is played every September. $100 billion baked in. If I had $100 billion baked into a contract, Why the hell would I care what happens each week? And I'm going to give away a little bit of my video. My video said, why would I care? You're still going to watch. You're still going to comment. You're still going to jump on streams. You're still going to troll. You're going to do all those things. It doesn't matter. You're going to go to Buffalo Wild Wings. You're going to go to boat campers. You're going to go to sports bars. You're going to agonize over losses and exalt over wins. It doesn't matter. They don't care. Right here you see my banner for Notre Dame right there. Do you realize Notre Dame has not won a championship since 1989 and you can't get a ticket? Nope. Ain't gonna get a ticket. I mean, you can go out on Scalper or StubHub and pay some serious money for it, but they've been sold out forever. And you know how long they're gonna be sold out? Forever. A lot of these teams in the NFL are the same way. I know that. No, I almost said the Redskins, the Commanders. I don't know if they still have it, but some of these teams have 20-year waiting list. Do you think the owners care if they win or lose? In the big scheme of things, that $100 billion gets split up to the owners. And it's as I said in the video, as George Carlin said, it's a big club, and we ain't in it. So, no, I don't think it's rigged. I just don't think they give a shit. Here's the number one reason why I don't think they give a shit. And Mike Florio talked about it today in the video that you'll see. If they cared, they would do something about the officiating. Never mind the rules. They meet every winter and they go over the rules committee and all this stuff. But they don't fix what's broken. They never fix the problem. And in my estimation, what the problem is you've got a $100 billion organization. You've got 32 teams that the owners are billionaires. And you got part-time refs? Tell me how that makes any sense at all. You got players making tens of millions of dollars. You've got coaches making millions of dollars. You got ordinary players making millions of dollars. You've got a league split in $100 billion, and you got part-time referees. I don't even know what they do the rest of the week, but they're not in class studying film. And then on top of everything else, don't talk about them. Don't you dare go into a press conference and say, "Hey, that ref sucked." You can't do that. They're godlike. They get to walk on water, show up in their striped jerseys, and don't say anything to offend me. If you say something to offend me, oops, I'm gonna throw the hanky. I'm gonna throw it. Don't say anything during the press conference. If so, you're gonna have to write a check. They're protecting the problem. The wife has made dinner, and she makes sure that I eat well, and she tells me you have to do this to lose weight. And my doctor says, hey, listen, you're getting up in age. You're gonna have to change some of the things you've been doing if you want to be here for your grandchildren. So I do all those things because I want to be better. I can't tell you how many shows and videos I record and hit delete because I practice. I keep trying to practice. These guys don't do that. They got part-time referees. They have part-time referees that are officiating a $100 billion league. That's the problem. The officiating sucks, and it can't be reviewed. And to have them, when they review the plays, understand they don't review penalties. Oh, did he catch it? Yeah, well, I think he did. Let's take a look. Oh, yeah, his foot was on the line? Well, I'm not sure. Hey, did you make the right call? Nope, we're not. I can't look at that. I can't look at that and decide whether or not I made the right call because, it doesn't matter. Plays, once that play goes on, I forgot about it. But Tyreek could have had a touchdown, and this guy could have done this. And, sorry. That's the problem with the NFL. They're not investing in the people who control the officiating. So maybe that is rigged. I'm not sure. Let's see here. You also know it's a process to become a ref. Yeah. But how much of that process is actually real? Because I don't want to get anyone pissed off at me, but I know for a fact that there were a couple of, how can I say this, diversity hires that were rushed through the process. That there were a few refs, you know who I'm talking about, who got rushed through the process. There's no way. You know what the thing is? You shouldn't be able to ref an NFL game unless you have 5 to 10 years experience refereeing. Why should you go to a school and look at some books and everything and do whatever they do and then get to run out there and be a ref? No. So you can't even drive a car. You can't even drive a boat unless you're doing that. Jeff Creed says Tua is bigger than Marino. I don't know. Let's see here. This is a big one. I wish I'd saved that tweet. There's a tweet. I wonder if I can find it. And just give me a second here. I think I retweeted it. Let me find this because this was very important. Is it on my timeline? I want to bring it up. Where is that? I'm talking, and while I'm talking, you guys can talk amongst yourselves. But whatever. This guy had went through and looked at a legal filing that the NFL put out. And the NFL actually admitted they are not a sports organization, that they are a entertainment organization. I can't find it. Can't find it right now. But yeah, they are an entertainment organization. So they're being governed a different way. They're there for your entertainment, not for, doing it the right way. Hey, Tommy, you said it, not me. So anybody wants to get mad, anybody wants to say, sexism, yeah, it's Tommy. He said, I'm just showing you his information. I'm just showing you what he wrote. I didn't say it. I alluded to it. Wow, hey, super chat from Mr. Knight. Thank you very, very much. Thank you very much, very much. Marino always crapped himself in the snow. Tua is him, the Samoa sniper. It's snipper. Yes, I agree with you. But Vipey says, but they're business and tax exempt. Yeah, right. They don't have to pay anything. We need better linebackers in the next year. I don't know what happened with Tyndall. Between he and Eazy-E, I thought they would see the field sometime this year. Guess not. Why did we draft him? Why'd you spend the draft capital if you're not going to put either of those guys on the field? Let's see. Tony, you're so right. It reminds me, you say not to the gamblers. It reminds me of that Al Pacino in Godfather 3. They pull me back in. Yeah, the gamblers got to keep coming and dropping money. They got to keep throwing that money down. Do the parlays, do whatever they think to do. That's a lot of cash. Hillary Clinton. Dude, that's the profile of the day. We have a chance, baby. Yeah, absolutely. Tony, why is he Coach McMoron? He made a mistake. He's a first-year coach. Come on, we got to cut the guy some slack. I don't know. Maybe just a wee bit. Absolutely. Hey, Stephanie, way to stand up. Did I hit it? Hit the button. Okay. Well, this chick is telling the truth. Make the refs pay for back. That, to me, is what should also be happening. If you go to work tomorrow and you screw up, or you steal, or you may get fired or do something, but you're held accountable. I don't ever see a referee held accountable. If they review a call afterwards and they shrug their shoulders, yeah, but we can't change it now. All right, but here's what you can change. You can make sure that this referee isn't on the field for 2 or 3 weeks. How about that? How about we do something like that? Let's see here. Gerald Franklin says, my eyes must be messing with me because I see somebody named Hillary Clinton and looks like her and says we have a chance, babe. Yeah, exactly. Oh, Larry, this is a good one. So where have X been this year? Our defensive backs have not played up to par. Not sure why. So I have another video for you guys tonight, and watch this. This is really compelling. You guys know I've been all over Stephen A. for months. I think that Stephen A. is the clown prince of ESPN. but I don't know what happened. I think that in staving off his inevitable irrelevance, he's become, or trying to become, more relevant, keeping his integrity. Listen to what he says here. It's only like 36 seconds, and we'll be right back.
I sit here today humbled because Tua went into Buffalo in freezing temperatures where it was snowing in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
He balled. He balled. Tyreek Hill, no surprise. Jalen Waddle, ball. That defense, listen, they lost. We get it. But they're not scrubs. They showed up. And I just found myself thinking, I said to myself, they're going to fold under these weather conditions.
Right.
They showed me Saturday they can beat anybody.
Yeah.
That's what they showed me Saturday.
Did you hear what he just said? And I just want to make sure you guys hear it right from his mouth. This is the most key statement I have ever heard Stephen A. Smith say. And I think he realizes now, just as most of us do, that this team is for real. And he can't stake his credibility on going Tua sucks anymore. Tua may have a bad game, but listen again to what he says right here. It's like 6-7 seconds.
Weather conditions.
Right.
They showed me Saturday they can beat anybody.
They showed him Saturday they can beat anybody. It shook for those of us who saw it. When I was sitting here this morning and I'm having a Diet Coke and protein bar, and I'm watching this and I'm going, what? What did he just say? Oh, give me the remote. Click, rewind. Did Stephen A. Smith just look in the camera? Did he just look into the camera with his eyes, pose to the camera? Let me see if I can.
They
pause
can beat anybody.
Okay. Here's where he's looking directly into the camera, right there. And he said the Dolphins could beat anybody. The Dolphins could beat anyone. If he is saying that, that means it's being talked about in the media now. Right now, you've got people like Mina Kimes. You've got people like Chris Canty. You've got people like Mike Greenberg, and others who take their lead from Stephen A. Smith. And for him to go on ESPN and say, this team can beat anybody, not just the Buffalo Bills, Kansas City Chiefs, anybody. If he can see that, after all he has said all year long, every single hater of Tua Tagovailoa can do me a favor and pound a big heaping pile of steamy hot stuff, if you know what I mean. The word is out. Saturday night changed everything. It changed it for the Dolphins. It changed it for the media. You guys already know it. And anyone else who's denying it is completely, absolutely full of crap. This team can win and beat anybody on any given Sunday. That's why I think they have to win these next 3 games, get into the playoffs, and they can beat anyone. What's your thought on that? Take some comments before we bounce tonight. Let's see. When you have, Tony says, when you have an 8-point lead in the ball with 4 minutes, what do? You run. You run. Absolutely. I think that's what you're asking me. Larry Shade says because he finally grew some balls, that's why. Whatever it was, he looked right into the camera and said this team can beat anybody. Something he saw. I think that, as he said, I expected Tua and the Dolphins to get up there in the cold weather and fold like a cheap suit. Because we know two of the top teams in the AFC, being Kansas City and Buffalo, it's going to be cold as hell. And the road to the Super Bowl is going through those 2 cities. It's going through Kansas City and or Buffalo. And what he just saw on Saturday, like the rest of us saw, is this team can play in bad, inclement weather. That was probably the one asterisk. Tua has shown everything else. Can he throw the long ball? Yeah. Can he throw it deep out? Yes. Can he play in cold weather? Yes. If those things are all true, they can beat anyone. They can lose if they don't execute, but they can beat anyone. Let's see here. Glenn, I was thinking the same exact thing. I was thinking that he thinks that something's about to happen. I don't have a premonition. I don't have a crystal ball. I can't look at anything. But I think anyone with a football sense can see right now in front of us, the Dolphins should win the next 3 games. Should. Could. They definitely could. They could get into the playoffs and be 11-6. And then when they're in there, they're at the 2nd or 3rd seed. Let's pull that up again so we can see what that looks like just before we close. Give me a break here. Just want you to look at this. And I'm sure guys like Stephen A. have as well. And they know what's coming and what this looks like. All right, so let me blow this up. Let me get this on for you guys on screen. Let me get that comment off. Let's look at this again. We looked at it last night, but it's starting to become really, really relevant. This is the playoff picture. Yeah, everybody can see it right there. All right. Buffalo Bills are currently going to be the number 1 seed. You got 8-6, Miami in the 7th seed, playing Kansas City, who's 11-3. 6th seed is the Chargers. They're 8-6, and you got Joe Burrow and the Bengals as a 3rd seed. And then you've got Baltimore and Tennessee down here. There's a lot of different places, excuse me, there's a lot of different places the Miami Dolphins could end up here. I don't see them being 8. They're going to be 6 or above, probably. Who knows what's going to happen here. But these 2 teams, Kansas City and Buffalo, and Cincinnati for that matter, all cold weather teams. I don't think Baltimore and Tennessee are going to really matter that much. But can you see what I'm saying? At this point, there is not a single team. Let me put it back up. There is not a single team on that list that you can't tell me. You can't tell me right now that the Miami Dolphins are precluded from beating any of those teams. See, we went from a league of 32 teams down to a league of basically 6. Actually 12, because you got the NFC. So we've got those teams. Those are the teams that he's looking at. Don't care about the other team. Don't care about the Browns. Don't care about the Texans. Right now, in a 6 or 7 team playoff, I want you to look at this and tell me the Dolphins would not be in a game with any of those teams. If you're dishonest, you're lying to yourself. At this point, we're down to basically this much we have to do. And as Stephen A. said, this team could beat anyone. Pablo says, McDaniel needs to have a come-to-Jesus meeting with Boyer and read him the riot act, butch up or else. I don't think he needs to do that. I think right now, everybody in the organization, from Stephen Ross down to the ball girls, knows that this is championship time. We're in a Christmas week. We're about to celebrate the Lord's birth. We know how revered Tua is. We know some of the other guys, Tyreek, Teron, Jalen. This is part of their inner being. They know that they're going to come out on Sunday against the Packers, who has an MVP quarterback and not much else. You got to take him down. You got to take him down. I don't care if you double Christian Watson. If you do that, there's not going to be much else for them to look at. This is the week they have to make a statement. I'd love to see them win by 20-plus points. All facets. No turnovers. We'll talk about that tomorrow and the keys to the game. But the keys to the game, you guys already know what they are. I don't think we need to do a video on the keys to the game. We'll talk about it tomorrow. But the thing is, run a damn ball. You just prove that you can. Throw the damn ball and make these guys catch it. Block. Keep blocking. Protect Tua. And most of all, don't beat yourselves. If you already know that the refs are going to be looking to throw a penalty, don't beat yourselves. Gary R. says, if the Dolphins play a poor game, Stephen A. will go right back to being a hater. No. If the Dolphins play a poor game, he deserves to rip them a new ass. Absolutely. I would do it. If they get into the game against the Packers and play well and lose, that's one thing. If they get in against the Packers and play like they did at the Chargers, absolutely they need to be ripped. Absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt. That's not hating. That's being real. You guys are favored to win this game. I think they're favored going in. You should be. You're at home against a lesser opponent. You need to kick their ass. And if you don't, you've let everybody down. Craig, don't force it to Hill. You're right. Hey, Tom, you're a lifelong Michigan fan. So you and I on Saturdays, we used to. They don't play Michigan anymore. That sucks. I like what you say here. You can't put this on Boyer. The guy has nothing and trying to stick crap to a wall. Howard's not doing it. Yeah, I believe it. At this point, that defense is being held together by Band-Aid, and there's really no continuity. They're not playing well as a unit. They're not communicating, and they're definitely not tackling. Miami, thanks. Miami's favored by 5.5. Got to win by 10. Just go ahead and do it. No, I'm bundled up, and if you see my eye tearing up, I'm getting to the end of whatever it was I had. It wasn't the Rona. I had some sort of cold that just kept coming and made my eye tear up. It was funny. I was reading that email from the soldier earlier, and that was a real welling up. I believe the Dolphins will show out at home. I hope so. This is a lack of a better word, a come to Jesus game all the way across. 15 minutes each quarter, 4 quarters, 60 minutes, offense, defense, special teams. Jason Sanders, I got to salute, has been playing much better. So now let's put it all together, Coach. Let's go ahead and take the win here, going into playing probably two of the worst teams in the AFC, the Jets and the Patriots. I would just don't take it for granted. Whatever you do, don't take it for granted because, whatever you think about Mac Jones, he can win. And just the same thing with the Jets. We just need to stomp them. N9 is a better word. Tony, what the hell does that mean? N9. I don't get it. I think we'd like to see this, a 30-10 win from Santa. Yeah, absolutely. Let's go ahead and win one big, absolutely big. Let's see. What else we got here? Close your eyes at cross-eye 95. D-line is best unit. Yeah, I think the D-line is indeed the best unit. Absolutely. So, guys, I want to thank you, and I'm just going to close with Stephen A. saying it again because I think it's so important. And don't forget, go over to my channel and check out the rigged video. I think you guys might enjoy it. It's doing really well, so people are liking it. And so I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Check this out.
I sit here today humbled because Tua went into Buffalo in freezing temperatures where it was snowing in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
He balled. Tyreek Hill, no surprise. Jalen Waddle, ball. That defense, listen, they lost. We get it. But they're not scrubs. They showed up. And I just found myself thinking, I said to myself, they're going to fold under these weather conditions.
Right.
They showed me Saturday they can beat anybody.
Yeah.
That's what they showed me Saturday.